Coach, nice to have you with us. Tell me about Coach Bruce Rollinson and the number of years you've been here at Modern Day and the success you've had.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to talk today, and I'm one of them old salts. I would be going to my 32nd season as the head football coach here at Modern Day High School. I'm an alumnus of Modern Day High School. I played for the Trojans and had some other coaching experience, community college, and I took over in 1989. And it's been a good run. We've won 4 national championships, and we've got the Heisman Trophy winner coming out of my tenure here. 2 Heisman trophies for the high school, John Hewart and obviously Matt Leinart. It's been a fruitful run, and I hope to continue it. I've got a good football team waiting to play here in California, and I've got a lot of young talent waiting for what we would call the second season of 21. So it's been a heck of a good time, and I'm fortunate. I have great staff. I have great support from my administration, which allows me to professionally coach, and they're committed to the brand. And, it goes without saying that a lot of people nationally recognize what we've done.
So, Coach, as you know, Steve Sarkisian, former assistant at USC, former head coach at USC in Washington, then over to Alabama as offensive coordinator, now takes over at the University of Texas. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm very, very pleased for Steve. We go way back to the Trojan days, to the University of Washington, because we've had numerous Division I, 5-star, 4-star kids that are going to be recruited nationally, and Steve has hit this area, does a great job in recruiting. And he's hit Modern Day hard, and I've developed a relationship with him, and I'm excited for him. It's a big step, but he's been in the pressure cooker, and what he's done with his career is to be commended. Turning it around after USC, professional experience. And then, needless to say, he's getting great accolades, well-deserved accolades for the national championship this year and his run as the offensive coordinator at Alabama. Everybody knows he's innovative and he does a tremendous job on the offensive side of the football. And it's well deserved that now he's at the University of Texas, but he also has a challenge coming at him. I mean, it's a rebuilding in a way, and it's hard to say that about Texas, but the expectations for the University of Texas are extremely high. And the rope is short. He knows that. He's been down this road. And he's up for the challenge.
Coach, given what he went through at USC and the way he's bounced back, do you think he's a better coach for having gone through all that?
You betcha. Sometimes we have to hit bottom and then climb back up. Some people would stay on the bottom, make excuses and sit around and mope and woe is me and feel sorry for themselves. He took the bull by the horns, and he's rebuilt his image. He's rebuilt his brand, and I think those lessons help you. Adversity is a challenge for all of us. We're in an adverse time now with COVID. And I've watched good leaders emerge, even at my own high school. And then I've watched people in leadership position just disappear. And that's what I'm talking about when you get in a situation similar to Steve's. You know, he's a leader. He emerged. He rebuilt himself, and I admire that.
Coach,
I admire that.
Let's talk about recruiting.
Yeah.
He's got Southern California ties, obviously. Do you expect him to continue trying to dip into the Southern California talent pool?
Well, I think you better dip into the Texas talent pool as well as nationally. Don't just single it out with California. Here's the difference, okay? Steve knows how to relate to the high school athlete, and they're different now, okay? We've been able to continue our success here at Mater Dei by adapting to the present day athlete. And it's a different athlete. He's well exposed, and Steve knows all that. He's connected to the guys that are managing a lot of these high school players, and that are managing these whether you agree or disagree with these 7-on-7 and all of these different avenues that top high school athletes go. And again, then when you go to a personal thing, Steve knows how to relate to the kids, and you know, it's not a line. It's just a way that they talk. It's a way that they communicate. He's well versed in social media, which you and I know is a huge trigger point for these kids. And he's got the budget behind him. Finances isn't an issue at the University of Texas. So it's all laid out. Now you got to get the players. You know, Steve is well accomplished as an offensive coordinator, but you can't do it without dudes.
What about his success with quarterbacks? They call him a quarterback whisperer. What is it about Steve that he's able to work with these quarterbacks so well?
Experience, okay. He's an ex-quarterback himself, but he has always stayed current on, quarterback training and technique and release points and all those different things, and the care of the quarterback, not just on the field, but also in the classroom. The quarterback room will be well managed by Steve Sarkisian. That's important. And again, he has the knowledge, but it's not just in scheme and technique of offense. It's also with the quarterbacks. And I completely agree with you. He has that innate ability to see the glitches or the problems ahead of time and make the corrections.
Coach, it's a different culture down in Texas, as it was for him at Alabama, where he was an assistant. Now
Yes.
he jumps into the big chair.
Yes.
Is he going to be able to make that transition successfully, do you think?
Well, we're going to find out. I mean, it's a different breed of cat. Again, expectations at Texas are national championships. Nothing short of that. And he's got to build it. And then let's cut through the chase. You need the best of the best, the elite talent, not just 3 stars and 4 stars. You need those top kids that change a program instantaneously. We saw it Monday night in the national championship game, and not just at the skilled positions. And Steve is savvy enough to understand you win it up front. You need a stable of big old defensive linemen, and you need to be able to dominate up front with your offensive line. It starts there, and Steve knows that. Then you need the trigger guy. You need the cue that can take you that way. He had the next one with Bryce Young at Alabama. He's got to find that kid that can work magic when it's all unraveling, and knows where to get the ball to those athletes.
So, in all the years that you've known Steve and known about him, what can you say to Texas fans about what they're getting in him as a head coach?
We've said it. He's going to recruit, and he's going to recruit your state, and he's not going to let top players slip away. He knows the competition. He knows what's over at A&M. He knows that they have great recruiters there. He'll go toe-to-toe with anybody in a living room, and I think he has the ability to get the right kids that will fit his program and his brand. And he's a tireless worker. He understands that he's going to be bouncing all over the nation. And I think you'll step back and watch and say, okay, but if you don't give it time, it's not going to work. He's not going to turn it in a year. It takes a while to build it up. He'll have success, but if you just kind of manage your expectations, then you'll meet your goal. You'll be in the conference championship game, and you'll be in the run for the national championship. Let's cut through the chase. It's the University of Texas. It's still attracting.
So, Coach, if you had a word of advice for Steve as he steps into this new challenge, what would it be?
I'm not qualified to give Steve Sarkisian any advice, but if I had any advice, and Steve knows this, you got to have a staff. You got to have a staff, and you got to hire the right people that you trust will do the work. And then once the staff is built, in the meantime, you got to get the players.
Coach, thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome, and I appreciate it. Okay, hook 'em horns and go Monarchs.